Welcome back to Niche Marketing Monopoly, Million Dollar Business Positioning. I am Paul Rhines, your host for this program, and I truly do hope that I'm welcoming you back from going through your workbook and piecing together the dialogue that you were able to see begin to come together in your workbook through those different components. And as we move forward now, we're moving into Module 11. And Module 11 is called The Final Answer. And this is where everything starts to come together and you start translating all of this work into your final answer for your viewers. Been a long process, but this is where it all starts to come together. Part of this involves presenting your structured packaging model. The 4 cornerstones of newborn happiness is what we're going to run with on this. You know that your model is well structured when the critical component affects the spark elements more than they affect the critical component. I mentioned that earlier. That's really the test for your structured packaging model, but I've gotten questions about it, so I, again, just wanted to readdress that. We've illustrated this with comfort in the baby model, and comfort, if you remove it, none of the others matter, and the baby can have less than perfect conditions for all of those spark elements, and it doesn't really matter. What you're going to do now is fully expose, instruct, or teach about all but the critical component. And you're going to do that right now. Remember, you're going to give them your best content. And the reason that you're going to do this is because you really want to capture and captivate your audience. What have we done is gone through an entire process that started out with shaking things up. You remember back to the fish jumping out of the fishbowl, right? And then we've altered their state. Then we've deepened that. Then we've managed their pain. And then we've provided alternate realities and taken them into the future of what that actually looks like. And now we're going to present our structured packaging model, and we're going to do it in a way where we can give them the best information that we can about that. Now, why would you want to give away the best information you can? Well, there's a number of reasons. One is the fact that you want to position yourself as an authority, and the way to do that is to really capture people's attention, and your best content is going to be the thing that does that. Another reason is because when you give away really, really good content, the presupposition in people's minds is if this is what you're giving away, what you charge for must be really, really good. It's based on the idea of movie trailers, and the movie trailers that you see when you're sitting in a film or previewing on a DVD before it starts playing, whatever the medium of delivery is. When you see a movie trailer, they're showing you the best moments of that entire film, and they're packing them all into a 1.5 to 4 minute long trailer that will capture your attention. They're giving you the best of what they have. When you go to the movie, a lot of times it's, well, I feel like I've seen the best of this film already because you actually did and you saw it in the trailer. So you want to give your best content here because that's what's going to make people want to go to the movies and give you their $13, so to speak. And remember, the critical component of your model is a one-word generalization of your product's main benefit, and it's usually framed as follows. Unless you have all, whatever number of sparks you have, of these components in place, then you'll continue to experience pain. And again, to refresh your memory, with the time management program, we had 3 elements that were focus, support, and strategies. The baby remedy, we had 4 elements, which were nutrition, interaction, connection, and comfort. Lead generation program, we had 5 elements, which included 3 spark elements and 2 critical components. And those were contact, connect, collect, convert, and catalog. Now, you can use a little bit further of an illustration point here, and I've just brought this up on the screen so that you can really see it. If your model has only 2 elements, then you can explain that your viewers are really positioned in a fashion that's just like having 1 chopstick and wanting to eat a Chinese dinner. You see, your 2 elements are analogous to chopsticks, and you need both to operate. And so if your model has 2 elements, you could compare it to just having 1 chopstick. And that's a fun way of illustrating it that everybody can get. Now, if your model has 3 elements, it'd be like having a tripod with 2 legs. If your model has 4 elements, it's like having a car with 3 wheels. I could go on and I could use multiple descriptions and analogies for all of these things, But ultimately, what we're talking about here is eating, using something, and driving something. And those are all metaphors in and of themselves. So again, it's another way of illustrating, making people relate on a level that they can digest and process as their own and be able to understand what that experience means. And in this case, you're going to be that fourth tire on the car, or you're going to be that third leg on the tripod, or the second chopstick. And again, just illustrations that popped into my head. You can use any that you want. But it's good to give that kind of a comparison that's somewhat silly, somewhat animated, and somewhat nonsensical, because it does cause people to go inside. And when they go inside, they're actually processing emotionally. And again, that's what we want. So next, we're going to give a what else combined with an embedded command. And we talked about embedded commands earlier. So the dialogue would go something like this. Another thing that I want to mention before you make the decision to go ahead and hit the buy button is this. Not only will you instantly X, but you'll also be able to Y. And that could be discover, be able to use this for, etc. But we're just giving a what else. What else can this do? And we're embedding the idea that we want them to click the buy button right now into that. And so if you didn't fully get that, you can play the dialogue back, but it's just kind of marked out there separately in its own message. And then next, we're going to create urgency. Now, creating urgency is an advanced psychological principle in and of itself, and I've done entire workshops just on the process of creating urgency. And if you do a Google search for my last name with the word urgency on it, you'll find a video clip there from one of the workshops that I was doing, which is a really, really good overview of the urgency process. And because that's so readily available and it's online, I've been talking about this for years. That's a really great explanation that'll get you focused on what urgency is all about and why it's so misunderstood. So I encourage you to just look for Ryan's Urgency on Google, and if you want, you can also look on the members area of Influence Mastery 2X. When you do Google that and find the YouTube video for it, please do leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. It'll keep you updated. And when you look at that video for urgency, you're going to discover that this again is a very misunderstood element of creating desire in people within the sales environment, regardless of whether it's digital or face-to-face. Next, we're going to introduce scarcity. Scarcity can be time, it can be seats, it can be attention, it can be memberships, it can be charters or bonuses. Examples of these would be, we are only going to leave the card open for 48 hours. That would be a time scarcity example. We only have so many seats available, and that would be a space availability scarcity model. We only have so much attention that we can give to all of the attendees, and because we're going to be interacting with everybody one-on-one, we have to limit the size of this, and so that would be an attention scarcity model. We only have so many memberships. We decided when we started this entire program that we're only going to offer X number of memberships, and so we will be cutting it off at that. We will certainly be offering this in the future at a different level, but it won't include these memberships. That's also another example of that. You just redress the same thing that I just said. Call it a charter membership, and the fact that you will get a charter membership with your buying decision today. And we are going to include X, Y, and Z in that charter membership, and that's only available for a limited amount of time. Or you can also introduce bonus scarcity, which is we've arranged for bonuses with this person, that person, and that person, which value out at this. You always say the value of your bonuses, by the way. Always tell them this is worth this, this is worth this, this is worth this. They all add up to a bonuses bundle valued at $478. However, I've only got 22 of those. So those are just some quick ways that you can introduce scarcity into your presentation, and that's what you're going to do at that point. And that brings us to a close for this section. I hope that you're really starting to piece all of this together in a bigger picture kind of a way. And at this point in my live events, I really see people starting to scribble their own notes and start to own this at a deeper level and understand, wow, these are the ways that I can construct a variety of different messages across a variety of different platforms for my product or service. So the next module, we're going to look at how to get your buyers committed. So complete any exercises you have not finished in your workbook. Go back through and review the workbook section for this area of the training, and I will see you in the next video.